One of my favorite soca artists, Mr. Aaron Voice St. Louis, by any means. And it was basically by any means that Manchester United just won this game today. Welcome to another edition of Old Talk here on the United Hour. I am your host today, Greg B. And I am joined by Mr. Robert Wallace and Mr. Courtney Andrews. Gentlemen, 3 points in the bag. Basically a heart-wrenching 3 points, but a 3 points nevertheless.
I line, it was Machida-esque.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Look at that. Shout out to Federico Makeda wherever he is. I think he's in Greece right now playing with Panathinaikos.
Nah, he's going back. He in Italy right
in Italy?
now.
He's in Italy. Okay, all right.
Syria be leading the chart.
Well. So it does go. I mean, it's one of those situations where Manchester United have to do it the hard way, and Fergie time lives. As always. Fergie time lives. That's it's unfortunately it's something that seems to be in this current side's DNA because Courtney, hear me out. I know it's not something that we enjoy having to go through. Sometimes when you're laboring and you're trying and you're making so many efforts and then you finally get that breakthrough, it just there's a sense of jubilation and relief that just swarms all over you when you get that. It's like, I mean, the best way I can experience is like if you have an orgasm. Come on,
You know what?
Dog, you know why? You know why it's cool? Because it's old talk.
True.
Right? It's old talk. We can say what we want.
I lie down on the bed watching the game. And I'm saying to myself, this team again, boy. Oh, good Lord, boy. I say, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to switch off the TV. I'm going outside.
Good afternoon to Cass Wilson. Good afternoon to Cass. He's saying it's T'Challa voice, United forever. So, for those who are watching Black Panther Wakanda Forever today, enjoy the movie. No spoilers, please. We all want to take our time and enjoy it ourselves for those who haven't seen it yet. So don't post no spoilers. And I ain't calling no names for nobody, but you know, how certain individuals we on your friends list on Facebook always be posting up stuff. And
I just mute them.
But yeah, that's it.
I just mute them. But we get inside track. So again, the story.
Indeed. Yeah, go ahead.
I do start to rock off the bed here, and I get up. And as I was walking through the door, I hear the commentator ball. Garnacho, go! I said, what's going on here? I don't need it in my life, my dog, boy. I don't.
Now, at least you heard it. I didn't hear it. I was having lunch, right? So it was on mute. I see 90 minutes come. I say, well, not the draw, wherever. I get up, wash my dishes. All I hear is someone say, hey, it's score! I say, come outside, man, score. I say, oh gosh, I missed the damn thing, boy.
But I will say this. I was, in overall, I would give man of the match to David De Gea. Hands down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like how we're going with this. So let's go through it properly and then just try to give it a bit of detail. Before we go any further, I want to give a couple of shout outs to some folks who are actually watching the stream as well. Two shout out to my friend Natanya, who's on her way to Westmall. Buy a few things for the holidays for her friends and whatnot. So she's a United fan as well too. So shout out to her. She took an email too, said that she was buzzing after that Garnacho goal. Shout out to my boy James Edwards as well too. And shout out to my friend Michelle, who's in South Africa. She's also a United fan as well, watching the game. Buoyant after that goal from Garnacho as well too. So it seems like everybody was just in great spirits after the result. I want things today. Christian Eriksen, his first goal for the club. Here's a fun fact for those who don't know. He is actually the first Danish player to score for Manchester United since Peter Schmeichel in 1995.
Wow. Well, we had many Danish players when it comes to think about it.
Let me see. Not too many. I think we've had more Swedes than Danes.
Yeah, we've had Swedes and Norwegians, not many days.
Yeah, not many days. But hey, congratulations! His first goal for the club. Let's walk me through what your feelings were through the first half. Robert, let me start with you.
Mm. Well, the first half was very end to end. I would say that it was very very end to end. It was us attack, they attack, us attack, they attack, and I was very it was very nerve wracking, because I don't think we had control, but Fulham didn't have control either, right? So it was anybody could have scored, but we scored first. I mean, it was a nice attack. I mean, nice counter. Bruno went for a shot, a deflection, and I would say it was an in between of a shot and a pass. I think he was going for a shot, but he was kind of going for a pass. But to me, I didn't care. The man scored. But Fulham scored in the second half. But
wait, good. Robert, no, I don't want you to dwell on that part. No. I want to go through it like piece by piece.
Right,
but
I know. That's what I was saying. I was going back in my thoughts now. But that first half, it was very hectic. I gotta say, it was very very hectic.
Mm-hmm.
It was very end to end. It was very nerve wracking. I like we had no control, but Fulham had no control. But I was not worried, per se. I wasn't worried until later on, in the game.
Well, I mean, we have been. It wouldn't be Big Phil if he didn't come with a little Bruno hates in this regard. He's saying, no, Bruno was good for a shot, Robert, and was about to go wide, but Ericsson arrived. He still gets credited with the assist, Phil. Cry. So, yeah. Courtney, tell me how you felt about that first half. I mean, it seems to be a situation where we get so many chances and we seem to not be able to control it and be clinical. Where do you think we went wrong today with that?
I agree with Robert. The game went very, backwards and forwards where we attack, they attack, that kind of vibe. One of my issues with it is that sometimes, and I love Bruno as a player, but sometimes they just had to keep it simple. The tricks and flicks, not really necessary. Play it simple. We should have scored at least 2 goals in that first half. I think Martial had one saved that he should have put away, and I think Marcus was at the second half.
No, there was also one that Ericsson had at the end of the first half as well too.
Yeah, that was second half.
Yeah, well, the one that Ericsson had at the end of the first half, I kind of not vexed with him because it's on his weaker foot, and he's running on, and it's while it's something that he should, in theory, put away, it's a lot more difficult to put away.
Not for Harry Maguire at striker. He would have scored that goal. He would have scored that goal.
Drinking no rum today.
Oh man!
Today.
Martin Phillip is asking this question here. Good afternoon, Martin. He was saying that Garnacho would have go, but what have happened to the other academy players who were on that victorious academy team? To be fair, Martin, I think you have certain players that are able to be ready for that level, and I think Ten Hag is gradually getting those players into the groove. I mean, there's certain players that I think still could have gotten some game times. I mean, one player that I feel sorry for is Facundo Pellistri, because the thing with me is that Ten Hag is persisting with putting Bruno on it right when it doesn't really work for him. Why put Bruno wide when you have a winger in Pellistri who could use the experience? I mean, Pellistri hasn't played games for United, but yet he still gets called up for the Uruguayan national team. So it baffles me how.
No. It does. It's not baffling. I'll tell you. It's a simple thing. International football is very different from club football. It's very, very different. The speed of the game is different. It's different. It's like apples and oranges. So I'm not surprised that Ten Hag hasn't given a lot of youth the opportunity. And one thing that we've always harped on, and we know, is that if you are showing promise in training, you will get an opportunity. But when you get that opportunity, you have to grasp it with 2 hands and hold on to it like it's a good red woman.
Anyway,
No,
moving along. Let me go. Let me go
right?
to another comment here.
Oh,
Just
God.
saying how Bruno keeping it
Um,
simple. He says he has a better chance of me growing here. He also has a better chance of seeing Pogba in the World Cup. That's
Uh,
not happening, is it? Anyway,
mm.
so we
so,
go into the second
so
half
look,
now,
wait,
and
before you do
yeah, go
it,
ahead, Goodney.
the likes of Charlie Savage, Zidane Iqbal, um, the next youth man who got his debut on the Ole. His name
Zidane
begins
Iqbal.
with
Zidane Iqbal.
not Iqbal, the next one. The short youth man with the Shabba cut. What's his name,
Oh, you talk about
boys?
Shola Shirteri. Shola
Right.
Shirteri.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those guys have to show Ten Hag that day to day on the training field that they can play at the level, and two, when they get an opportunity, continue to play. But the only person that has done that thus far this season is Garnacho. Um, Ilanga he hasn't had bad games, but he hasn't had great games either. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think in the back end, especially in the back end of the season, a lot of those youths are gonna get. Guess we will get into that today now. Not today.
no, no,
Right?
no, 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 no. It's half them, you know. It's half
But
them,
they're
right?
rare. They're
No,
like
no.
diamonds. They're rare.
They don't live in this country. You gotta get
Oh
on a
my god!
plane
Hey,
and
I am
fly
laughing
out.
too hard.
Right? You
I am
fly
laughing
out.
way too
Trust me.
hard. I
Fly
am
out.
laughing way too
Right?
hard right
Fly
now.
out.
Yo,
Um,
yo.
Or, or,
but
you,
true enough,
or you go Mayaro, right? You go Mayaro and you say no
So
habla
okay,
español.
okay, Robert. We're talking about we talk about red woman that's naturalized Trinidad. Not even he's just probably accustomed dealing with upstairs. So try and keep it local.
anyway, on the back end of the season, I think
Yes,
the
go
youth
ahead.
will have a lot more say in the squad because we're going to get injuries. People are going to come out of form.
Yeah,
So
of
what
course.
they have to do is literally sit and bide their time, soak in
True.
as much as you can, learn, grow, and then when they get the opportunity, grasp it with two hands and don't let go,
Hmm.
as Garnacho has done. And
Yeah.
Garnacho has proven that, look, the opportunities are here. It's up to you to want it and up to you to take it.
I gotta be honest. There's a lot of people that are just readily waxing lyrical about Alejandro Garnacho, and rightly so. I mean, his progression has been something to be marveled at because after the Sociedad game with that goal he scored in the Europa League, to the assist from McTominay in the Carabao Cup, which beat Aston Villa,
Mhm.
it's showing that this is someone who understands that you have to continue and be consistent with your performances to be able to make it into this team, and I think
No,
that's what Eric Ten Hag is looking for. So
correct.
long may it continue.
Now look at the Villa game, the first Villa game.
Yeah.
He did not do what he naturally does.
Hmm.
And for somewhere, and it happens. He's a young player.
Of
But
course.
from the time that switch in his mind flipped and he said to himself, look, my game is to run at people. Once I have that ball, that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to create space for me and people around me. And he
True.
did that. Today, anybody else that was making that run would have given up. When that ball was played, I know we jumping ahead, but when that ball was played, any other player was going to be like, nah, that me running that ball down. Not in the 90th.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players would have probably just been like, "Yeah, that's a lost cause." Yeah, we really want to get into the second half as well too, and Big Phil is probably anxiously wanting to talk about the goal that Fulham scored by former United player Daniel James.
Hey, I'll tell you something, man.
It
This
just
game, right? How do you hear
mm-hmm.
me now? You know that, right? I tell you, it had to
How's
be
that?
either Pereira or Dan James was going to score today. Someone of them had to score.
As
Today
long
was
as
a
we didn't
game
give
of.
away a free kick in the 18-yard box, I wasn't
You
worried
ever
about
went
Andreas
to a
Pereira too
party,
much.
right? You ever went to a party, and in the party, right, you see about 3x girl, and then they
Oh
with your new
wow!
girl. Dog, that was me, and I swear, like today, I had flashbacks. I was like, "What going on here? So much X-Man, so much. Why?" Dan James,
If Eddie of Roberts' exes are watching right now, we do apologize for his behavior on his behalf
nah,
because
they
clearly
know
he's
me,
not.
though. They know me, man. They love me, no. They love me, man. No, but you
Oh
saw
man,
Pereira today.
yeah, but he,
Pereira was a
yeah,
demon.
No, it's sad.
Yeah, but here's the thing that has that issue that I have an issue with. Why the hell couldn't he show this form at United?
No. Let's be fair to him. Let us be fair. One, he was under coaches that did not really build a team to his strengths. Two, he did show it in flashes.
On preseason.
And that's it. That's the problem. Flashes is either flashes or preseason games.
Yeah,
right. Now, again,
outside of the exception of the screamer against Southampton years ago, and then probably the 1 or 2 games that he started 2019-20, it's like, come on.
No,
he probably had as many consistent games as Paul Pogba.
He didn't have a bad season in 1920, if memory serves correct. He didn't have a stellar season, but he
had no choice.
Yeah,
we had no choice. What other number 10 did we have in our team apart from probably Lingard? Excuse me.
None.
Right. No.
So I mean, it was a matter of basically using what you had available to you.
Right, but the team around him wasn't built to work to what he's good at. He had in Fulham he has a target man, plus he has runners.
I get what you're saying, couldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying, couldn't he? I really do, but I think if you're someone you want to be a part of Manchester United's first team, you want to be part of the starting 11. Sometimes you have to be able to adapt to what's going on around you. Excuse me. You see that guy? I'm still recovering from this chest cold. You see, that's right. I'm fighting up here right now. But yeah, so. But for me, I mean, I wish Andres Pereira all the best, and I hope to God that he continues showing the form that he has. But anyway, excuse me 1 second. Wow. But yeah, Dan James coming back to haunt us as well too. It was one of those. Is like,
yeah, and he had a very unlucky break for Manchester United player. You were signed. You didn't have. It wasn't good. It wasn't great, but it was pretty decent. You could have been a pretty decent squad player. And I think it was the re-signing of Ronaldo that caused his exit.
Yeah,
it was because they ended up giving his number to Cavani, and he ended up getting sold.
Right. So literally, he was told the day before that you're staying in the squad. We have a plan for you. Ronaldo signs the next day, and the next day he's out the door. Come on, that was a raw deal. But I'm happy, he's found his feet in Fulham. He wasn't having a good time in Leeds. But at least now in Fulham, he's slowly beginning to get integrated into the team. I think Marco Silva has used them as that super sub for the majority of the season, and he's had a pretty decent impact.
I mean, you have to give him credit for that. I mean, people will say that probably playing at Fulham it more suits his level, but when you think about it, Dan James was really kind of given a raw deal at the end of the day, and there were a lot of times that he was very crucial in a lot of matches because his pace was helping us a lot in the counters and a lot of matches. I remember the game against Norwich where we played, and he broke out on a counter attack and he launched a long ball to find Marcus Rashford for them to win that game at Carrow Road. And I mean, he's a player that it used in a proper system, in the right system that suits his style. He will thrive, and like I said, more power to him. I hold no ill will towards Dan James or Andres Pereira for that matter. I'm glad for them. I'm just glad they didn't beat us today. Anyway, let's go through some more of the comments here. Kessler saying, he said before Bruno gave away the ball, let's talk about Eriksen's offside call when he wasn't offside. All those actions led to Robert, talk to me on that one, please, because when I saw that, I was shocked.
I don't know because to me it was onside. It was on.
Isn't the rule that you're not supposed to call the play until the play is dead?
Yeah. Well,
last time I checked, yeah. I mean, and when you look back, when they did a review of the game, of the match, I mean, I think the person who probably looked more offside in that situation was Martial, but he wasn't interfering with the play when the ball entered
Martial was walking back on
position. Yeah,
right. So I was confused, and I'm not trying to knock the refs because that would go down to a different kind of level. But in my understanding of the rule says that you don't call the offside until the play has been deemed dead. You understand? So if it is that, because Erickson was through on goal. So you were
yes, he was.
According to what I understand from the rule, you're supposed to let that play out. And then if he scores, or if he throws wide, then you make a necessary adjustment. And then you send it up. If it is that it's a point of contention, you send it up to VAR, and VAR makes the off-field decision.
What is it with VAR and these referees these days? I mean, it's like there's just so many inconsistencies that have been costing teams points, and it's like nothing seems to be changing.
A penalty decision that was not taken yesterday. What game that was? I can't remember what game it was. Literally, the man.
That wasn't Bournemouth and City. That wasn't Bournemouth and City.
I don't know. Nah, I don't think it was a City game. Okay. I can't remember which game because I was watching the highlights this morning. And the man literally reaches the ball before the man pushes the ball. And the man in his follow through kicks the man across his shin. And no penalty. And I'm watching it because I didn't watch the game live. I watched it in replay. And they show it in real time and they show it in slow-mo. And my mind, I was like, but how is this not a penalty? I've seen penalties given for less.
Yeah.
Like I said, inconsistencies all around. Inconsistencies all around.
Because they will call one thing today, and then tomorrow the same thing will happen, and it'll be like no foul. And today,
it's like these rules are changing midway through games. Because I mean, if you hark back to the FA Cup match against Middlesbrough where we lost on penalties, that goal that Middlesbrough scored against us, you could clearly see that the man used his hand to control the ball before he got it. But somehow that goal was allowed to stand. And it's not the first time there have been situations like that. Not just against United, but against other teams in the Premier League where decisions like this come around and it's like,
but
how?
Even in that thing, right? Martel was offside, right? But he was not involved in the play. Erickson was onside. So I don't understand how could that be offside? That's why I'm confused.
It baffles a lot of people, and
I would love to be able to read that match report though.
But you know why? I tell you why, right? See, back in the days, right? I mean, Ferguson used to pay the men and them, right? Right?
Whoa, right? Robert, I know where you're going. Robert, I know where you're going. Stop it.
Stop it. President Chad, please. So we don't get this disclaimer up and running.
He paid in the eye stay. It was the eye stay. It was the. And man just see that, all right, cool. Right, but Everton needs to learn that eye stare. You see, Pep have an eye stare that is get men to change the mind. Eric needs to learn that eye stare, or that that kind of scowl to make men change their mind and say, no, it's okay, it's all right. I find Eric too nice, man. He need to go and quarrel some more, cuss him out. Throw a shoe, do something.
Please be advised that the views expressed by Robert Wallace are not those of the United Hour and everyone involved. Anyway,
let
us move on.
How much time? No. How much time?
Let us move on.
Ferguson, right, was just there, and men change their mind and we win games. How much time? How much times?
I understand your sentiment, Robert.
How much times? Yeah.
I don't think that's going to solve the problem. I think
no, it won't.
The English needs to take a serious hand. And a good time to do it is now. We have
especially with the World Cup break. Yeah, you have an opportunity to fix up your rules and also review decisions that were controversial in nature.
Yeah, you put them refs in a nice little 2 weeks. Those who are not participating in the World Cup, put them in a nice 2-week camp. Yeah, fellas, we're going through all the controversial decisions. Let me see where we can show up this thing.
Keep a review of the decisions made by the referees, which were considered contentious, and then I was like, yo, what were you doing? What was your thought process going through this?
What was that?
No, I'm saying like you have that in review, and the person who's the head of the Match Officials Association talks to them like, what was your thought process going through this? What made you come to this decision that this was a penalty and this was not a penalty? Let them know.
Yeah, I don't know, because to me, VAR was supposed to help the referee, right? I mean, it's supposed to be that you are the ref, you make a decision, but the VAR is just there, right, to kind of reinforce, right, your decision.
But it seems like the referees are only helping themselves. They're not helping themselves in the process.
Using VAR now to they will make a call, and because the people on them will complain, they'll use VAR to kind of backtrack instead of just, if you're gonna make choices, just make a choice. Good, bad, or indifferent, right? I mean, I like VAR, right? I like VAR. VAR makes sense, right? But before VAR, a ref would make a decision. We would either hate it or love it. But that was just it. There was no,
because at the end of the day, Robert, we didn't have a choice but to accept the final decision made.
But now you introduced VAR that's supposed to eliminate these things, but yet they're still happening. So it's still back to
I personally think that they need to make a referee, that they have to have VAR independent from the actual match officials within the league itself. Have it set to international standards. Have someone independent of that committee so they can kind of keep a mutual head. Because I don't know, because they choose the people who run the VAR for those games. It scares me sometimes.
No, my thing
let's get some comments in before we go any further. Kess is saying here that he said that the linesman was to wait before raising his flag, and I agree. I mean, you don't jump to that conclusion, especially see you're something and you're not of the decision, and it turns out to be the wrong one. He's also saying that England should be ashamed that only 2 EPL refs get called up to the World Cup. Martin Phillip is chiming in, asking Kess if he wants to see more of them in the World Cup. Oh, that's another story for itself. And Phil is jumping up here and talking about, he says Garnacho's that is Dan James with a higher IQ. Dan James is just a pace merchant. I would have to disagree on this because Dan James has had pivotal moments in big games for United and a lot of times. I mean, where do I start? I mean, the goal against Chelsea on his debut, an assist against Liverpool, an assist against City. So it's not like the kid is just...
Dan James is an out-and-out runner.
Yeah.
Garnacho is a combination of running and skill. You could ever see Dan James giving me the kind of finish that Garnacho gave us today? No, he wouldn't. Because that's not the type of player he is.
I mean, to be fair, he has scored some similar goals like that in the past. Because I remember when we scored when he played against Southampton.
I'm talking about the skill, not the speed in the finishing. Skill in the finish.
Yeah, but he actually weaved between 2 players to score that goal against Southampton. I remember that was I think that was the 8th or 9th goal in that
between. I'm talking about the composure what was required to put that ball in the bottom right-hand corner of the net. Dan James would have gone for power, not necessarily finesse.
Well, yeah, finesse isn't necessarily part of his game. That's one thing.
That's what I'm saying. He's not that finesse type player. But going back to
I get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Going back to the VAR, I think it's if you've gone to VAR and VAR can't make a clear-cut decision for whatever reason, send it back down to the ref. Let the ref go to the monitor and let him make the call.
Yeah, but to me, it shouldn't even be all that. If you're the referee, right, you make a decision, and the people on top should either call you to say, "I think I have an error" or not. But I find that
that's the aspect of their game that VAR is supposed to be in charge of. It's like, I think you may need to go back and look at this because
the guys on top will call the referee for things that they may think are wrong, but the referee already made his decision, and all he's doing is just making things more complicated.
No. You know? But there are times when they have to intervene. We've seen it happen this season when there were things that they missed and whatever. But at the same time, too, if it is that it come upstairs and you can't make a clear-cut decision because you're not on the ground, you are in an office watching the monitors, you don't know how the game is feeling, you don't know how the attitudes of the players are, nothing. So in a case like that, the easiest thing is for you to do is to say, look, I know that you made an error here, but I need you to see the error to make a proper decision. You take 2-3 minutes, you go to the monitor, review it. And I think one of the things that they also need to start doing is reviewing it in real time. Slow motion has a tendency to make things look a lot worse than they actually are.
I think it's gonna get so ridiculous to a point where they might have to actually have the fans in the stadium involved and probably vote. It's like, is this a penalty? Is this not a penalty? And go like 50 or 75% say yeah. They might end up doing that like people meet on TV6 after the news.
No, that is not going to happen. That is not going to happen soon.
Oh God, I know because obviously, depending on the stadium you're playing in, they're
Yeah,
going
they
to
will
want
say
to favor
no.
the home side. Oh,
Mm,
Correct.
mm, mm.
I know, but I mean, we've seen some ridiculous things been done here. I mean, if the referees could have started booking players for taking off their shirts and celebrating goals, which I think is a dumb thing to do. Because I mean, he's in the moment. You score a goal, you decide to celebrate, and you take it off your shirt. I mean, what happened? What happened
No,
there?
it depends. If it's like 50 minutes, you shoot off. That is balls. No, you shoot it. Card. If it's like 88 minutes and in the game, cool, no problem.
Yeah, but
Do
I
you
I
do?
remember watching that Champions League game and Ronaldinho scored a goal against Milan in like in the 90 plus stoppage time
Hmm.
minutes.
Yeah,
Man
no, I
celebrate, take
remember.
his shirt and wave it and he get booked
Yeah,
and he get booked for it.
yeah. For what? You just been
Yeah,
sour. You're
I think that's a
sour.
stupid rule, but we
Mm.
we we
Yeah,
go
yeah.
we go get into semantics.
All right.
Mm.
I'm gonna check this
Let's
next
go on to
comment here. Martin Phillip is asking here: do Premier League referees get demoted for continuous bad calls? I think they do
yeah, they do.
because I believe the referee against Newcastle against us who kind of made the poor call when Sancho was supposed to get a penalty and he got kicked in the shin.
Mm.
I saw him refereeing a Champions League a championship match 3 days later.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
So
somebody got that demotion. I think two referees got that demotion this year, and there was another guy who came back recently
mhm.
from doing EFL games for a while.
Yep.
Um,
Because at the end of the day, I mean, the more consistently bad games that you have with calls, I think that takes away from your level to you be able to they drop you down until you improve, and then they'll probably bring you back up once they see the consistency levels improving with your decisions during those
yeah.
games.
Mm.
So,
Um,
which I
the
think is
Fulham,
which I think is smart.
the Fulham goal.
Hmm.
Well, it's a combination of three things:
Yeah.
the offside call for Ericsson,
Right.
subsequent play where Bruno, I don't know how Bruno decided to control that ball and didn't think that there was a man behind him,
Mm.
and Malacia's bad defending. No, I
I
know
actually
Elliot is
wanted
like,
to touch on that. Yeah? I actually wanted to touch
no,
on that
Elliot
for a
does
second
want
because
to
I
block
mean I
my
have it
boy.
as a highlight point. As a highlight point, Malasia right back. I mean,
He didn't have a bad game, but
overall, that's what I was going to ask. Overall, what do you think of his performance at right back?
he didn't have a bad game, but he
It
didn't
was.
have a great game either.
Mm.
We clearly noticed that we had a deficiency on that right. Now, whether or not my boy could have filled that role, we will get to that antics. But I hope that he in January he gets to go to another club and proves that he is the type of right back that he is supposed to be.
Mm.
All I'm saying is, Courtney, is that the fact that Wan-Bissaka didn't even get a look in for this game, it's not
Yeah.
looking good.
Now, look,
No.
It's
at
not
the end
looking
of the
good at
day,
all.
for whatever reason, Ten Hag does not favor him. I cannot fault Eric for he's the coach. He knows what he's looking for in a player. So yeah, I go had a retirement Wan-Bissaka jersey, but that's all right.
Hey, next time you're ordering that jersey, do one or two things. Either leave it blank or put your own name on the back of it. Because having a
Yeah.
player's name is too mainstream these days. I mean, you get a player on the back of your jersey and they just disappoint you. I remember somebody got a Memphis Depay jersey years ago and it was like, Memphis just
Yeah.
flopped. And it's like,
Mm.
what do you with the
Yeah.
jersey now?
But I think Memphis got two things. Memphis' attitude was a little bit off, and Memphis got a bad break. If you
Yeah.
remember in the earlys, before Luke Shaw broke his leg,
Mm-hmm.
Memphis and Luke were forging a dynamic partnership down that line.
Very true. Very true.
After Luke broke his leg, Memphis form just went because he didn't have that player that was running on the outside of him to take the man so that he could take on the man that's in front of him.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, he just didn't adapt his game.
Mm.
And I think that's something that he himself has admitted from time to time when he looks back on his career. And it's unfortunate, but Memphis has still thrived since then. I mean, he's been playing for Barcelona. I mean, you can't go too wrong. I
He
mean,
had a great couple seasons with Lille.
Leon.
In
Yes,
Lyon.
Leon. Yeah. I remember that. I kind of was glad to see that happening for him.
I would say this also. I think that particular coach played a very significant role in the decline of Memphis's form. And
Which
I'll tell
one,
you
Van
what,
Gaal?
Van Gaal.
Yeah, but let's be honest though, Van Gaal was his coach when he was playing for Holland in the World Cup.
Yeah, again, international football and club football, two totally different things. The speed of the international game is much slower than a domestic league, especially a league like the EPL.
I would just figure, seeing as you're playing at a coach that you're familiar with, it shouldn't have too much of a dissimilarity.
The coach's philosophy for an international team and a coach's philosophy for a domestic team, two totally different things. You took Angel Di Maria, who was one of the world-class stars in Real Madrid, and turned him into a bare average player.
To be fair, Di Maria didn't really want to be here.
No, again, I'm not going to dispute that fact. But I would also say this. If Di Maria is a professional, he will come out there, he will do a job. He may not be totally enjoying it, but you would never know from his performances. Van Gaal
actually would. You would, because some players would down tools just deliberately, and we've seen it a lot of instances in a lot of this team.
Fair enough, but I'm of the firm belief that Van Gaal, I know, for all the good that he did, shackled his team by not allowing them to play freely. You saw that.
Well, I mean,
he spent a lot of time drilling, doing this, but even though you're drilling that, you still have to let expressions and freedoms come to play. But anyway, we get inside.
Yeah, we are, because let's face it, Van Gaal spent more time looking at his clipboard more than anything else. But yes, we covered the first goal, Christian Eriksen's goal. We covered the equalizer from Fulham. The winner, Alejandro Garnacho.
Before we go there, David De Gea makes us say today that I don't know if anybody else was there. I swear.
You had her?
So I guess we already have a unanimous for this.
He's the man. Yeah. I think with any other keeper, we would have been down a good two goals, maybe 3.
As long as it wasn't another Brentford scoreline, I'd have been glad. But but I mean, David De Gea. I watched that game today from David De Gea, and you could, in my mind, I was like, he took that Spain omission very, very personally.
Very personally, yeah. Because Kepa is not having.
Robert, if you're David De Gea and you know this is the last game before World Cup, and you like, Jesus, I really not going on now playing Takata. What would be your mindset in a situation like that?
Well, I'll be happy, you know why I'm doing something. Spain getting beat out like a bad thing this year. Don't get type in life. Spain getting beat out. I'm telling you right now. Spain getting, and I see Kepa is not a goalkeeper.
Okay.
Well,
I don't tell people that Kepa is not a goalie.
23, Kepa is not there. It's David Raya, Robert Sanchez, and Unai Simon. So I can't get vexed with the keepers that he have right now, because Raya is having a pretty decent season for Brentford.
Decent.
Decent.
Playing for who?
Brighton.
Right. And where's Brighton?
I don't know much about Unai Simon. I haven't watched Athletic Club play. So
Unai Simon is actually is Atletico Bilbao's goalkeeper, and he's pretty good.
But none of them, right, are playing for a team like David De Gea. None of them are on the level of David De Gea. David De Gea should have been going. And no, I mean, I understand that David De Gea has his limitations, and that I understand that. But they judge the demand on a very small window, right, of performances. And what they should have done is look at what he's doing now. Change your mind.
Well, remember, he hasn't been involved in the Spain national team for quite some time.
No, right, but what I'm saying, the true test of intelligence, right, is to be able to take new information and add it to, to make a proper decision. And they didn't. You understand?
Let me tell you this. Luis Enrique's thought process is looking for someone who's a goalkeeper that's more well-rounded. And
Right.
take nothing away from David De Gea. He is an amazing shot stopper. When I say
Right.
amazing, I mean today's performances spoke volumes. But that's where the dimensions stop. David De Gea is not great with his distribution. Sometimes I mean, there have been instances where we see him play the ball out with his feet, and he's shown that, but it's not as consistent as you would see the likes of Sanchez and Raya, because a lot
No.
of times they would get assists from their distribution at times too. You look at
Right.
Allison, if you look at Ederson, those are basically like the measuring marks for what they expect from goalkeepers now, because they are well-rounded players. Look at Manuel Neuer,
Right.
who De Gea was getting comparisons with.
Mm.
It just goes to show what coaches are looking for from their goalkeepers now. They talk to me. What was your thought process with David De Gea's performance today?
I was pleasantly, it was great. He, to me, was the man in the match. He secured those points for us, outside of the Garnacho goal. It's what I come to expect from David. Yes, he's prone to the occasional error, but 9 times out of 10, I would put him in the post. He is the man. So I don't know. It's a complicated. His call up his non-call up to Spain, I should say. It's a very complicated thing, but Greg is right. Yeah, he can't be. He is being judged on his holistic play and not just his ability to shot stop.
And as I'm saying, I mean, I'm not upset, but I'm just saying that if he had gone, and remember Spain's last tournament, right? They were very, very poor, and everyone blamed David De Gea the reason why they were poor. But they were poor. It wasn't just his fault. Spain was poor, and this World Cup, Spain is poor again. So I think they are poor this year. I think so. Like the team itself, I don't see the blend. It's not.
Let's face it. Don't let their semi-final finish in the Euros fool you. I mean, Spain's current team is very underwhelming for me, and they're placing a lot of their hopes. They're placing a lot of their hopes on Petri and Gavi to control stuff in the midfield. That's a lot of pressure for some young players like that.
Don't look at the names. Look at how they all perform together. And what I'm happy for is that David De Gea is not there. So when Spain does get beat out, no one can come and say it's David De Gea's fault. No, because he's not there. He's not there.
Very true.
He's not
Very
there.
true. So yeah, so I mean, it kind of saves him. So he's absolved from blame if Spain do underperform, which a lot of people are pretty much expecting to happen in this regard.
Yeah, what I'm saying. And to me, the more players that we have staying home, the happier I am.
So you would have been glad if Rashford wasn't going.
Yes. What do you mean? I'd be glad if Rashford wasn't going, Martinez wasn't going. I find Varane should not be going.
Are you sure the only person that people don't care about probably going World Cup right now is Harry Maguire?
Nah, he should go. Nah, he can go.
I think he needs the game time. I mean, he needs to have a good World Cup to get back his confidence.
No.
Let's be fair to Harry.
Harry.
Yes.
Yes, Robert. Let's be fair to Harry. Let us be fair to Harry.
I am biased against Harry. I will never be fair to Harry. Never. I am biased against him, man. I will say it, big and bold face. I have an agenda against Harry. I do. I will say it.
Greg, we are
going to Ronaldo is anti-Harry.
Right? Harry needs to get some confidence, have a nice little run games, build back himself to where he was during the Euros, and get back that confidence he has and come back into this Man U team and really put in a fighting performance. He may not get back his starting, because right now, that left side of the central defense is Martinez own. Lindelof is doing a pretty okay job, and when Varane comes back healthy, Varane is probably going to be the man to beat for the spot. But
I think we've already established that Varane and Martinez is the partnership going forward with this team, because we've seen the stability there.
Wait, no, I can't say that yet. Because again,
the games that they played together kind of speaks for themselves.
Yes,
especially the big matches.
No. I'm not saying no, and I'm not disputing that fact. What I'm saying is, if Harry comes back into form, he has to put his hat in the ring.
Of course.
But he's gonna be playing with Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate is a fraud. He is this man. How could you leave him, Ivan Toney? How?
Why?
You leave him to Murray, who played for AC Milan, who won the league in Serie A, and he's home, and they bring Harry Maguire, who don't play. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, but Harry was his captain, so he's not gonna leave his captain.
Harry should not be no one's captain. How could you leave him to Murray? Murray won the league. Yeah, that's what I say. That whole England team don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
I would say I didn't agree with him in I forget what's the.
He's carrying Trent and all. What does that tell you?
He carrying Trent.
He's carrying Trent.
Yeah,
he's carrying Trent.
You don't have a choice. He had to carry Trent.
Yes, he does. He's still a Kyle Walker.
No, he would have played Reece James, but Reece James is injured.
Yeah.
Okay, and Kyle Walker is usually a right back, so he could have played him. I think he's also carrying Kieran Trippier, so he didn't really need Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No, well, depends on what type of formation he played. Because remember, Kyle Walker and Trippier could play right in a back three.
Mm-hmm.
Trent can't play in a back three.
So exactly. Trent can't defend. So why are you carrying a defender who can't defend? And then again, people will say he's carrying Maguire. So
right, and that's what I'm saying. It don't add up.
You see. I know Robert was going to do that. I do that just for Robert to respond.
I think no. The only logical reason I could see that he left Tony home is because of that allegation that came out. He's being investigated for.
Yeah, I think it's a better scandal or something like that.
Right. Yeah. Is there anything?
Well, Ivan Toney responded yesterday in style with a winner against Manchester City. So, Martin, if you're watching,
and destroy my
hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that one, Martin. I hope you enjoyed that one.
Well, there's something. I will ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Arsenal is 5 points ahead, right?
Okay.
Would you rather Arsenal win the league this year and have to put up with Arsenal fans for the next 5 years, or have City win it again?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a double. It's a catch-22 in a situation like this, because if City win it, they do this repeat that we've done and we've held dear to our hearts that no other team has ever done.
Yeah, but we did it twice.
And listen. Like you said, Arsenal wins the league. Like you said, we're going to have to deal with them because now they're going to say that they won the league before we did, and they're going to be annoying, and I'm going to have to slap a few Arsenal fans.
Yeah,
which I have no problem doing. But yeah,
I'm gonna ask you this question on that same question. You'll find this season Leicester's.
Is what?
Leicester-esque.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There are similarities. So basically, what you're trying to say is that Arsenal are just going to probably win this one league and then just return to obscurity.
yeah, but it'll be enough now. They will milk.
Yeah, I know. It will be enough for them. It will be enough for them.
They'll milk it.
And Martin Phillip has responded to my statement saying that they're still going to win the league. For your sake, Martin, I hope so. Because it seems if Arteta comes to the Etihad and actually beats you guys, you're not going to hear the end of it. No. All I'm going to remind you of is this. Right? I just remember when the internet was in full meltdown when United United lost to Brentford. That's all I'm saying. It's like same energy.
I would say this.
But anyway,
I would really prefer City to win, but I find it hard to say this.
In this regard, I get it because it feels like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
I remember City had no fans. Always remember that. City had no
except
fans.
for Martin.
Except for Martin. One fan.
Yeah, I know. I want to City fan, man.
No. Have one fan.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Manchester City fans are like an endangered species. They're around, but you have to kind of keep them in bunches. It's like they're not really populating the area. It's like you don't know. Soon as Pep and everybody decide to bust out, it's like That's the end. They'll be extinct after that.
You know why I find that happens plenty to it? Barca fans.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Messi on PSG.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, man wearing PSG jersey and
yeah.
But he wasn't just a Barca fan.
Yeah.
I know about 6 of them, you know. I know about 6 of them.
Yeah, but they were Messi fans. They weren't Barca fans. They were Messi fans.
Of course.
You understand? Of course. They were Messi fans.
Look, if you are a player
because I remember Gil was talking about, oh, Messi's the greatest thing out. You know, we showing up big Argentina jersey. It's like, oh, it's Argentina fan. I was like, okay, name another player in the Argentina team besides Messi. She couldn't name one.
Cricket.
Nope.
Not one. But anyway, gentlemen, we are coming close to the final hour. We're getting the last call. The barman trying to kick us out. Martin and all chiming in. Like he have a drink in his hand. He said, hey, the elephant is still in the tree. But we're all wondering when it will come down. Soon after Christmas. Like, yeah, plan, boy. Like Martin shopping. Martin shopping in the yaks, boy.
Before the barman kick me out, I want to ask a serious question. Mm-hmm. Who are they back in for the World Cup?
That's a tough one for me. I've been a Dutch fan all my life, but I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm. Well, them is the natural bridesmaid.
Bridesmaids, yeah, I know. I mean, my heart was broken in 2010, and I just decided to stay neutral. I backed France for the last World Cup because Holland weren't there. So I think I might just stay neutral for it. But in my heart of hearts, I want Holland to do something, but I don't know. I don't know. I think this tournament is definitely taken for anybody. A lot of people are pushing the narrative that Argentina is going to win. Even EA Sports got involved and said they predicted that Argentina was going to win the World Cup when they ran their program on the new FIFA 23, which I'm going to be getting very soon. Yeah. So, who are you backing? Who are you backing, Courtney?
Actually, I'm a neutral right now.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I secretly would like an African team to win.
You know, that would be a very wonderful story for if an African team comes and wins it. I mean, my money would probably be on Senegal because I like their chances. It's just if Mane will be able to play, because I mean he picked up that injury for Bayern the other day, so I don't know how fit he'll be for the start of the tournament.
Well, my thing is this: the conditions within themselves suit African teams.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Robert, what about you?
I'm not backing anyone, really and truly. Because usually I watch the World Cup just to watch it. So but I think Brazil have the best chance to win it this year because of the strength of their bench. This year Brazil has keepers, they have defenders, they have midfielders, they have forwards. I mean, that team actually is a compact team now. It's no longer the Neymar show or the Ronaldinho show or the Ronaldo show. Is the team this year. This year is a team. And these men, they're playing they're not doing the typical Brazil samba play. Right. They are playing to win. They will beat you and then walk off the field. You understand? and it is very un-Brazil-like, the way how they play. You know what I mean? So
to be fair, Brazil has changed their style over the last 2 tournaments. If you watch them, they've moved away from
that. I think that became a necessity.
Yeah, because they didn't have the players. Mm-hmm. Whereas you had in before you had the likes of Ronaldo, the 3 R's, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, and Ronaldinho. They didn't have that type of flair player. The only one you really had of note was Neymar.
Good.
Neymar, maybe Anthony. Anybody that I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head that is a natural flair player in that ilk. Right. So we go see it. I'm gonna lie, this one will be an interesting World Cup, and this season in its entirety is going to be an interesting season.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that we're doing this, we're having this tournament midway through a season of football.
Mhm.
I think that will greatly impact the way certain players approach it. So they won't be as like full gear like they would if they didn't have to go back to their clubs as
No.
these tournaments finished. So
No.
it'll be interesting to see how every team approaches it. Just to see how the players play and guys. I mean, we're basically going into this break for the World Cup on a high. 3 points.
Mhm.
Ten Hag's got us back on track after that unfortunate defeat at the hands of Aston Villa last week. We decided to we reprimanded that because we beat them in the Carabao Cup on Thursday. So we got our revenge, and now we've gotten our 3 necessary points to keep ourselves right around the realms of top 4. We still, I think, we have a game in hand over Tottenham and Newcastle.
Yeah.
So once we get those out of the way and we keep our momentum, we'll be right to where we need to be. Closing thoughts, Courtney. What is your takeaway from today's performance?
We need to stop. We need to kill teams. We need to stop giving them to come back in games. I think once we get into a position where we are scoring the chances that we're creating, we're going to move in the right direction. Not to say that we are not doing it right now. We're not in that right direction. I think we need to solidify our control on games and kill off teams from the get-go and not let them get back into games. If we could get that in the second half of the season, I would think that even if we don't make the top 4, I would think that it's been a successful season for Ten Hag to build a base, and then we can move on to the next season, looking to expand and move up the table.
Okay. Robert, what are your thoughts?
I would echo the same thing. It's just for us to keep moving, keep pushing. I'm hoping January will come. We buy a few players. I would still like to bring in a striker and probably another player in midfield. But I like the way how we're going. We are going in the right direction for once, and my hope is that we continue to go in this direction and that this is not a blip. That is my hope. So, but I think with Eric, I think we have the right coach. I think the players' attitudes line up. I think and for the new year, Eric needs to just make Bruno captain and tell Harry Maguire piss off. Right? Just rip it off. Just rip it off and say no more.
You know he's getting rid of Ronaldo too, right?
That's okay.
Okay. Well, once we keep this balanced, we got one more comment coming in here. Grill, thanks for joining, bro. I mean, yeah, come in here. Probably just get one quick drink or two before you go there. But say, good afternoon to you as well. So it's a positive to really go into this break with our 3 points because it keeps the momentum high. And all we can say is that let's just hope when we get back into the groove of things as the World Cup's over, this doesn't kill our momentum completely and we pick up where we left off. And once the January transfer window comes in, Ten Hag is backed. Until then, let's just hope to the players that are going to the World Cup. We wish them all the best. Come back injury-free, please. I'm begging. We don't need any players getting any serious injuries coming back.
Correct.
And hopefully, who knows? Next year, one of our players actually comes back here with a World Cup medal. That would be a cool thing. Next year you see the Brazil contingent come back and they're rocking their medals off. Imagine Fred come back in character with a World Cup medal.
Yeah.
There's something. There's something.
Yeah, talk to the pastor.
Because for that, I'll back England. Just for that, I'll back England.
What that would be if England Maguire will come back with a World Cup medal?
I'm saying something,
If that happens, Maguire will have a World Cup medal. Are you sure you want to do
that? If that will give my team a leg up, yes, I am for that. I want the man to come back and do something. So either come back with a medal in your hand and say, right, look, my fellas, or bust out.
Girls saying that will never happen. Hey, watch me. If it's one thing I learn about football, never say never. Because anybody ever thought Greece would have won Euros in 2004?
Correct.
No.
Well done.
No.
So, like I said, it's stranger things have happened. That's football for you guys.
Anybody
So,
about
Robert,
South Korea
Courtney,
without reaching a semi-finals of a World Cup?
there's some controversy still surrounding that World Cup, but still, I get the point that you're making. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, girls saying if Maguire wasn't English, that he was long gone. I mean, there's a lot of players that would have been long gone if they weren't English, but still, I mean, he's here. We still have to deal with that, and chances are that this could actually happen. So, guys, we just want to say thanks to everybody comments, Grill, Ken, Big Phil, everybody who's commented and contributed. We want to say thank you to everybody who's liked, who shared, to subscribe. Don't forget, at the end of the season, we will be giving away a signed Cristiano Ronaldo jersey. All you have to do is like and subscribe. The minute we get to 10K, we are doing that. Right? So we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. So we thank you all so much who tune in, who comment, who contribute, who like, who share our videos. Again, Robert, Courtney, thank you for coming in. And as President Chad loves to say, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here at the United Hour, please like, please subscribe, and let